Hey guys, it's Princeton here, and I thought I'd just show you how to make your codes F6, because a lot of people have requested it lately. So the first thing I want to go over is what F6 really does. And what it does is it searches your values that you put, and then it sets the pointer to the address of the first value that it finds, if that makes sense. And the values have to be consecutive, so you can't like, let's put this value and then let's put this value, and yeah, no, they have to be one right after another. So yeah, I could read to you the description, or you could just listen to me, but that's basically it. So I'm lazy and my coding computer doesn't have internet, so I'm going to use a hex editor and a RAM dump to show you this. Alright, so we gotta find a variable in the game. I use jump height because I just use that for most of my examples. And this is where it brought me. And my clock is ticking. So, since this is where we brought me, we need to write down, just kidding, we need to write down this value that it brought us to. 80, 8D1F48. And the value right next to it, so 8092F668. So here's the basic outline. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I will post this in the video so you don't have to write it, because typing numbers is really boring. But this is what it does. It says search, and then search one line of values. These are the values, or going through the values. And this is the range that it searches in. I put 810F instead of 8180 because sometimes if you're making a code for a game and the code handler gets messed up, so it tries to search regions that are out of the safe regions to search, if this makes sense. And it freezes you, and it's not very pleasant to have to reboot your loop. So that's what I use. For the x's, we're going to replace with our 808D48 and our 8092F668. The reason I chose these values is because what these variables are pointers that tells the game to write that text to that area of memory. If that made sense, it probably didn't, but hopefully it did. And the pointers have less chance of having a changing value than most values around it. So now that we have our values that we're going to search for, we are going to find the value for the code that we're trying to make. It's right here, 421C0000. And so we're going to press Control-E, copy it, go to our calculator, paste it, and select minus, go back to where our first value is stored, copy, paste, equals, and we get 18. Whoa, we're almost done. So then, since it sets a pointer, we have to use code type that writes from the pointer offset. So we're going to use 14 in this case because that's the simplest code type to understand. And we're going to put, what was it, 18? Yeah. Because what this does is it tells the game, or not the game, the code handler, that once it finds these two values, it takes the address that this value was stored at and sets that as the pointer. So we're adding 18 bytes to where our value really is. And then we just put the value, so the value that we want the jump height to be. Let's say we don't want to have a jump height and put 0. And then finally, since it said it creates an if. We have to obviously finish it with an end if. And just to make stuff less confusing, let's just use the typical termination line. So, yeah. There is our code. I ask that if you make a code out of a variable using this, you credit the original maker for the code, because there are so many code issues going on, and it is mostly with codes like this, like simple jump height stuff, you know. So please do your research, because as a coder it's your responsibility to make sure that the code hasn't been made before. And if it has been, that you credit them as well. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I will post some links in the description, so look for those. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And that's about it. Thanks. And I forgot to mention, but a visit to my website is always helpful. It gives me motivation, and yeah, it just makes me want to do more for you guys. So, if you guys need a thought on anything else, post there, or post a comment on YouTube, or feel whatever you need necessary, and I will get right to it.